Hello, testing, good morning. Welcome. Sorry, just getting everything set up here for a moment. Testing my sound. Don't actually know if I have sound. If you're on, hi Steph. Let me know if you can hear me. Because for some reason I can't hear myself, but I think this happened last week. And I could hear myself. Or I couldn't hear myself, but you guys could. So, let me know. Oh, sorry if that was very loud. I had to test it. Looks like I'm getting sound. Perfect. Okay. That's great. I have no idea why the sound doesn't come through on my end, but that's great. As long as you can hear me, that's what's important. So, good morning. Welcome to your Saturday morning creativity session on this maybe snowy, maybe looking a little bit more like Christmas morning, depending on where you are. I was just looking and I read an article that said in Michigan, which is where I am, we have not had a white Christmas, and a white Christmas is considered when there's more than an inch of snow on the ground. We have not had a white Christmas since 2017. So what's the point of living in Michigan and dealing with all the snow and crud all year long if you can't even get a white Christmas? So I thought that was a fun fact to share this morning, quote unquote fun. But we're gonna jump into a quick yoga session. So if you're new here, that's why I'm kind of slowly chit-chatting, letting people hop on, giving people a chance to join, especially if you are new. We kick off these sessions with just a quick energy boosting yoga flow, creativity boosting yoga flow to get the brain and body moving. They're not, we don't get crazy, they're not difficult. I shouldn't say that, depending on your body. I try not to make them difficult. If anything doesn't feel right in your body though, or you don't feel like it's gonna work for you, feel free to just pause, sit in stillness, breathe, do whatever feels right for you. I try to keep them pretty basic. We will start with that, usually about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we will create together. I will put a prompt up on the screen to give you a little extra inspiration if you need it. Feel free to disregard it if you are already working on something. But even if you are already working on something, sometimes prompts can help get you unstuck if you don't know where to go next, get you moving to that next scene, that next plot point. So feel free to use it or disregard it. I will put it up on the screen, and then we will create in 3 25-minute sprints. I will put a timer up. I will track the time. Not always that great about it if I get engrossed in what I'm doing, but that's how these sessions work. And this part, the yoga part, is totally optional, but as always, yoga is just a really great way to wake up the brain, especially if you are just getting up, depending on your situation. If you have kids, you've probably been up for quite a few hours already, but really just waking up the brain. Anytime we get the body moving kind of first thing in the morning is a really great thing. Get the bones moving, the muscles stretching. So we're going to start in a nice mountain pose, nice strong mountain pose. You can start at the top of your mat. I'll start facing you just so you can see me. And then I'll eventually move to the top of my mat. And just take a second to look down at your feet. Make sure they're about hip width apart. You can keep them together, really together if you would like, but hip width just allows for a little bit bigger base, a little more stability first thing this morning. And we're just going to bring awareness up through the body by pressing the feet into the mat, pressing all four corners, and then just kind of pushing away from the mat with the feet up through the legs, up through the kneecaps. You can almost pretend that you're lifting the kneecaps up toward the ceiling. Obviously, they're not going to move. They don't really move like that, but it's just a way to activate the legs. Continuing up to the belly. Just activate the core by pulling the belly button up and back toward the spine. Create a nice base, help support the lower back. Anytime the core is engaged, you're taking a little pressure off of that lower back, which is always a good thing. We put a lot of pressure on our lower back, sometimes unintentionally, asking it to do all the work. And then moving up to the shoulders. You can have your hands, I'm using my hands to demonstrate, but you can have your hands just down at your side, palms facing forward. Nice active fingers, active hands. And just by activating little things like the fingers, we tell our bodies like it's time to move. We're not just hanging out. We're doing something a little bit different right now. So it's just a little trigger for your brain and your body to be ready to do something different, to start moving. So in the shoulders, we're just going to pull the shoulders down away from the ears. And that might, even that small movement, you might start to feel a stretch through the top of the shoulders, the neck. If you sit at a desk all day and your shoulders are used to being kind of pulled forward a little bit, just pulling them down away from the ears can feel really good. And then moving up through the neck to the top of the head. Maybe imagine you have a string at the top of your head that you're pulling up toward the ceiling. So you're trying to stretch the top of your head up toward the ceiling. And then between pulling the shoulders down and the head up, you might feel even more of a stretch. That just feels really good. You might even feel that kind of through the whole body, through the spine. And pull your shoulder blades together toward each other. And there we go. We have a nice strong mountain pose. And even if you're sitting, if for some reason, you can't participate in a standing yoga and moving, just sitting and practicing this head over heart, heart over pelvis alignment. You can do that from sitting and just activating the spine, lengthening the spine, pulling the head up toward the ceiling. Even that's just going to help invigorate the brain a little bit, especially when we start to bring the breath. So just go ahead and take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And we'll sigh it out through the mouth. And maybe when you sigh, just let the shoulders fall even more relaxed down away from the ears. Take a couple more breaths, just bringing oxygen to the brain. Those deep breaths, bringing more oxygen to the brain than we might normally, can be as effective as a nice cup of coffee, even though still like our coffee. But just standing like this and breathing, activating the muscles throughout the body can be a nice wake up first thing in the morning. So even if you don't have time to do a full practice or a couple of minutes, just stand up from your bed, take a nice drink of water, and then stand in your mountain pose and take a nice couple of deep breaths in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And on the next inhale, we'll start to move a little bit. We'll reach the arms up toward the sky, just where we are, keeping the base of the body right where it is, pressing the feet into the earth, stretching the arms up overhead, even maybe keeping them wide, like you're trying to hold a beach ball between them. I know you can't really see my fingertips or the tops of my hands, but keeping those fingers wide, nice and activated, and keeping the core strong. We'll take one more inhale, and exhale, just dip the arms to the right side of the mat, keeping the base of the body where it is. You might start to feel a nice stretch through the left side of the body, down through the hips, maybe a little bit through that lower back, depending on what's tight in your body. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, same thing to the left, just dipping the hands, reaching the hands toward the left side of the mat, pressing the right foot into the mat for a counter stretch through the right side of the body. Inhale back to center. Do that again. Exhale to the right side of the mat, maybe now keeping the motion a little more fluid. So exhale, inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Do it one more time. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. And back to center. Inhale, reach the fingertips up toward the sky. Exhale, we'll drop the elbows, pulling them together behind the back. Obviously, they're not going to touch, or they might not touch. I don't know if somebody can do that. I can't, but so pulling them together toward each other behind the back, opening through the chest. Still active hands here, almost jazz hands. And then inhale, reach the arms back up through the fingertips, maybe looking up to the fingertips. And exhale, drop those arms, pulling the elbows toward each other behind the back. Inhale, reaching the arms up. And exhale, let the hands fall down through center, back into mountain pose. I'm going to move to the top of my mat. If you're already there, great. Just maybe reestablishing, while I'm shifting here, reestablishing our base with our feet. If they've moved a little bit, just aligning them with the hips again, pressing all four corners into the mat. We're going to start to move a little more, so just establishing that connection to the earth. We'll inhale one more time, or again, bring the arms up overhead. And this time we're going to fold forward, slicing the hands down through middle. You can bring them together. And whenever we fold, we want to bend at the waist rather than starting to hunch the back around the back forward and leading with the nose. It's kind of a good visual. You want to lead with the chin and the chest rather than the nose. Bending at the waist, and here you might keep your knees super, super bent here at first. And then just folding forward as far as you can, as far as feels comfortable. If your hands don't touch the ground, just you can grab opposite elbows. You can just touch the back of your legs, your shins, whatever feels comfortable. Just to give yourself a little bit of a release here into this fold. Let a little blood start to rush to the brain. And then an inhale, coming to a half flat back. Popping, bringing the hands to the shins or the thighs, whatever feels right in your body. Bringing the back to the back and lower body, forming kind of a 7 shape. And exhale back into the fold. And then we'll inhale, reach for the sky, straightening, coming back to standing. Reaching the fingertips toward the ceiling. And exhale down through center, back into mountain, just briefly. But we'll keep moving. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, folding forward. Keeping the knees bent if you need, but maybe they slowly start to straighten with each fold. Even I catch myself sometimes rounding the back and trying and leading a little bit more with my nose. It's okay, just bring awareness. Every time you find awareness in the body and adjust accordingly is good. As we do more folds, if you need a little more of a stretch, just imagine pulling that tailbone up toward the sky. Really activate through the back of the legs. Slowly starting to straighten the legs. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching up, straightening. Reaching to the sky. And this time on the exhale, we'll go right back into the fold. Meeting with the chin and the chest. Releasing everything. Maybe the legs are a little straighter. Inhale, half flat back. Stretching the tailbone behind us, the top of the head ahead of us. Back into the fold on the exhale. And this time we'll stay here and bring the left hand to the mat just below the nose. If it doesn't quite touch, it's okay, just let it hang. Maybe bring just the fingertips. You can bend your knees a little bit more here as much as you need because we're going to hang out here for just a second, so it might feel better than being super straight. And then on an inhale, we're going to reach that right arm up toward the sky, twisting with the waist, twisting through the waist, opening the chest to the right side of the mat. Trying to keep those knees together, or even, not together. They're still hip width apart, but even with each other. So rather than straightening that right leg, which might be a little tempting here, and we do that once in a while, but this time we're going to keep them straight or even. And exhale, drop that right hand to the mat to replace the left. And this time we'll reach the left arm up, twisting at the waist, opening the chest to the left side of the mat, just being aware of those knees. And exhale, drop the hand, replace the right hand, lifting the right hand, twisting at the waist. We'll do this one more time. Opening the chest. And exhale. Replace the left hand with the right, lifting the left hand, stretching through the fingertips. Maybe gazing up at the left hand if that feels okay. Exhale. Release back into the fold. Inhale, half flat back one more time. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll straighten, reaching through the fingertips, which might feel really good now. Maybe a slight back bend. And exhale, bring the hands down through center. We walk it out a little. And we'll keep it going. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, drop the hands down through center. Coming into our fold. Maybe the legs are a little straighter now. Inhale, half flat back. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And on an exhale, we'll bring the hands to the mat, kind of on either side of those feet. And we're just going to step the right foot back. So now we're in a runner's lunge. And you can bring that right knee to the ground if you would like for a little extra support. Or bring it up for a low lunge and you can come to the fingertips here. Just adjusting, stacking that left knee over the left ankle. Pressing that left foot into the mat, pressing that right heel toward the back of the mat to invite a nice stretch through that right hip crease, right hip flexor. And maybe the fingertips are on the mat, opening the chest, lifting the chest a little bit away from the knee or the leg, lifting the chin, gazing forward. And then exhale, we'll drop the right hand. Inhale, lifting that left hand up toward the sky, twisting at the waist, opening the chest to that left knee, left side of the mat. Pulling that left hip back, that right hip forward. Gazing up at that left hand if that feels okay, or just gazing ahead. And then exhale, bring that right hand back to the mat. And drop that right knee. And then we'll just pull the hips back, the bum back toward that right heel, lifting the left foot up off the mat, bringing the toes toward the face, kind of keeping a slight bend in that left knee. And letting the head kind of hang toward the knee, dropping the nose toward the knee. And inhale, come back. Left knee over left ankle. We'll lift that right knee off the earth since it dropped. And then we're just going to bounce on that right knee, start to bend that right knee a little bit, and just step up to meet the left, releasing into the fold. Inhale, half flat back, just to reset. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, release right back into the fold. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, half flat back. And exhale, drop the hands to the mat, either side of the feet. This time we're just going to step that left foot back. Our right knee is over the right ankle. Right foot pressed into the mat. Hands pressed into the mat or fingertips to the mat. Left heel pressing back toward the back of the mat to invite a nice stretch. And maybe now bring the fingertips, if they're not there yet, to the mat, lifting the chest away from the leg a little, lifting the chin, gazing forward. Breathing, don't forget the breath. If anything, if the breath feels like, if it feels hard to breathe, come out of the pose. That might indicate that the pose is just not right for your body at the moment. And then we'll drop that left knee to the mat and start to pull the hips back toward the back of the mat. That right leg will start to straighten, lift the right foot up off the mat, the toes toward the face, and just let the head release the nose toward the knee. Breathing. And then we'll inhale, start to bend that right knee again, bring it up over that right ankle, plant the hands, lift the left knee up off the mat, and this time we'll step that right knee, or right foot back toward the left, coming into a plank just briefly here. And then we'll let the hands or the knees fall to the mat. Untuck the toes, let the bum fall back toward the heels. And we'll end in child's pose here. Just give yourself a couple of breaths. We don't want to relax the body too much. We want to keep the energy that we just cultivated, but give the muscles a little break. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. And then slowly start to pull yourself up. Straighten. Adjust. And we will come off of our mats. Thank you so much for practicing with me. If you chose to practice today, sharing your energy. We're not wrapping up here. Remember, we've got our creativity session next. But just to wrap up our practice, we honor the light in each other by whispering namaste. So thank you so much. Take a couple of minutes here. I'm going to adjust my setup, get some coffee, get some water. You can do the same. Get to a good writing position, and we will meet back at our computers for just a few moments. In just a few moments, take all that energy we just created and put it to good use. All right. We are back. I am back. If you're still getting situated, no problem. Had to put on my wintry, festive, this is only festive because it's red, hat. Might need sweater too. It's a little chilly. Winter is here. Hopefully that means the snow's at least going to stick around until Christmas. It can leave. It can go away after that, but all right. Good morning. Good morning, Karen. If you are here, good morning, Steph. Thank you guys for being here. We are going to get started with our writing sessions in just a moment here. In the meantime, let me know. This time of year is funky, I feel like, for a lot of people. People have breaks and time off, but also, and so you think that it would be like time to get writing done, but I also think this time of year kind of makes people want to slow down, give themselves an actual break, time off. So let me know, how do you use this time of year? Do you get invigorated to write and feel motivated and want to use your time off to get stuff done, or do you take some time to slow down? Because I'm just kind of wondering if over the next few weeks, I do have some time off, I might kind of up my writing sessions for people who do have time off and want to use that time. But I don't know. I don't know if people feel super motivated during this time of year and want to use it to create. So let me know in the comments how you feel, and if you want more creativity sessions over the next few weeks. And we can see about setting those up. And by those, I mean live sessions just like this, probably not with the yoga as well. Maybe just an hour here, some writing sprints, things like that. I thought about even setting up a Zoom call so that we can see each other. Because I know you guys get to see me all the time, but I don't ever get to see any of you. So let me know in the comments. Sorry, I was just continuing to get readjusted here. Also, I guess, let me know that you can hear me. Hopefully, you can hear me since I switched my setup. And we're gonna dive in here to writing session and do a little creating. So I'm going to throw up a prompt on the screen, and then I will throw up a timer, and we will jump in. So as you're writing, as usual, feel free to throw any comments, concerns, questions. If you're feeling stuck, anything like that, throw it in the chat. See if there's anybody here in the community writing this morning that can help out. That's why we do these, to connect with other writers, because if you're feeling really stuck and you're by yourself, it can feel really lonely. And difficulty hearing me. You know, it's always something. In this chat. There's that. I know this microphone is kind of hit or miss. You know what, we will go ahead and start the writing session, and I'm going to adjust my mic for when we come back. So I will get you guys started. So here is your prompt. The night was cold, but it was everything she ... I'll explain a little bit more about that prompt when I fix my audio. And we will get the timer up. So as soon as that timer comes up on the screen, it will be 25 minutes. And I will do a little better job at tracking than I did last time. I lost track of time a few times. So we're going to start the timer. Yeah. Happy writing. All right. There we go. That's the mic I need. And that is the end of our first writing sprint. Let us know in the comments how it went, how it's going, what you're working on. Otherwise, we will probably just jump right into the next one here in a moment. Before, when you couldn't hear me, I was going to explain that if you do start working with this prompt here in today's session, if you want to continue working with it on the piece that you start today, I do have this prompt as the prompt in one of my timed writing sprints that I just released the other day on the channel. So I will put that in the comments. So if you want to continue using this prompt, but you want a little inspirational music, a timer to help you feel a little motivated, that video is up. And I will put it in the comments right here. So you can use that anytime you need a little more inspiration, a little more guidance, or guided writing session once we are done here. So that is up. It uses the same prompt. Has a nice little fun, pretty, wintry background you can put on your screen to eliminate distractions. So there you go. All the perks of today that you can use anytime. You don't have to wait for the live sessions. So perfect. My mic is working, which is good because I just said a whole bunch of stuff without waiting to make sure it was working. But all right. So, and that is the same prompt that I have up today. The night was cold, but it was everything she'd ever ... Give it your own spin. Take it in a new direction. All right, so I think we will just jump on in to our next writing session. I set my timer that time, so I was aware when the 25 minutes was up. We'll do the same thing today. This time we'll get the timer up. We'll write for 25 more minutes. I am just, this morning, Steph is working on a round of edits from beta reader feedback. Awesome. Yeah, I am rereading. I find that if I've been in a slump or been stuck or not worked on something for a little while, just rereading stuff I'd written on the project in the past helps kind of orient me again and get me motivated again. So I'm just looking back through some notes and what I've already written on a certain project. See if I can get myself ready to dive back in. Unfortunately, I haven't written a lot on it yet. So in those 25 minutes, I already reread what I wrote. And I also find that just if you are feeling stuck, kind of starting by making small changes. So I wrote what I wrote as just a brain dump, and I wasn't worried about typos or anything like that. So now, trying to get myself going again, I can just go back and make those small changes. It can kind of just get me back into the project and get my brain working again. So that's how I kind of get myself back into writing after a little bit of a slump. So I will continue to do that. Steph can continue her edits, and we can continue our creativity session here. I will start the timer, mute myself, and we can get back to it. All right, so timer, and ready. that is the end of our second sprint. Hope it went well. I got a little distracted, I'm not going to lie. Kind of bouncing around deciding what I should be working on at the moment is a challenge for me. I don't know if anyone else has that or shares that. Not just creative projects either. Although I have a couple creative projects, I can't decide which one I want to work on next. So project overload, I guess. So if you have any thoughts on how you decide which projects to work on and when, which ones you want to get your time and energy to, throw that in the comments. Let me know. I also threw up a poll in the Creative Warriors Facebook group to find out, try to find out if I should be scheduling some more sprints over the next few weeks or if everybody just kind of wants to chill, take it easy. I am trying to decide maybe if I should schedule a fun event just on Zoom. And maybe it's not even a sprint. Maybe it's just a Creative Warriors drop-in so we can see each other's faces. I know we're kind of spread out. I'm in a Facebook group, with hundreds of people. We're all over the place. So thought a Zoom might be fun where we can just jump on and leave it open maybe for a couple of hours. People can jump in, maybe share their projects that they completed in 2022, maybe what they're excited about in 2023. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe just a little Creative Warrior hangout, happy hour. No pressure to sit and create or anything like that, but more about sharing, talking about our projects, sharing challenges, and supporting other creators. And the more I'm talking about it, the more I think I might just do it. That's why we do stuff like this, to bounce ideas around. I'm just bouncing them to an empty screen, or to a camera, but it works. If you have feedback on that, let me know in the comments. But keep an eye out for that in the group. And if you're in the group, answer my poll. Let me know what you're up to the next few weeks, writing-wise. And with that, we will go ahead and start our next sprint. We'll keep it going here, and that will take us to the end of our session. So if you have anything you want to chat about in the chat, challenges with your current work in progress, anything like that, throw it in the chat and we can respond in the next 25 minutes here or so. But we will go ahead and get this show on the road. Start my timer over. Bring my timer back up here. So we're going to hit go. Ready, set, right. friends, that is our last sprint of the day, and that takes us to 11 o'clock, to the end of our creativity session this week. Our next session is actually on New Year's Eve morning, and I thought about canceling, but I think I'm going to keep it. I think it's a good way to wrap up the end of the year, creating together, starting the last day of the year with a little creativity time. Maybe you don't even use it for a creative project. Maybe you use it to think about the next year, do a little planning, a little reflecting. So I decided to keep it in case anyone wants to use that time for that. If it was New Year's Day, that would be different. I'm not going to expect folks to hop on at 9 a.m. after New Year's Eve, but I think New Year's Eve day is a good time to spend a little time together creating, so I will keep that. So our next session is December 31st, 2022. Last day of 2022, and you know what? As far as I'm concerned, bye-bye 2022. Let's bring in 2023. So thank you so much for joining me today, for practicing with me, for writing with me, for creating with me, and thank you for dedicating this time to your creativity and your creative projects. I hope it was a productive time for you. I hope it was helpful. And as always, I hope you spend a little time this week and these coming weeks fighting for your creativity. Oh, I will be back Wednesday as well. We paused the Wednesday sessions for a couple of weeks, but I will be back Wednesday morning, 7:30 to 8:30. We're going to keep that. We're going to keep that hour time that we started for Nano. So yeah, we'll be back Wednesday. Maybe I'll set up a few more sessions. Keep an eye out for a little, maybe a creative community Zoom in the next couple of weeks. And I hope to create with you again very soon. Now go fight for your creativity.